She see money all around me. I look like I'm...
Welcome back to part 2 of my friendship life in college. A little inside look of my friendship life in college. And this time I'm not going to talk too much. I'm just going to roll right into part 2. So the beginning of part 2 to this story starts at the beginning of the end of our friendship. It was Unicorn's birthday, and Sydney texted me I went at like 5 o'clock and was like, are you going to Unicorn's birthday dinner? Are you riding with me or are you riding with her? And I had no idea about the birthday dinner. I had no idea what she was talking about. So I texted Unicorn and I was like, what's up? Like, I didn't know that you were having a birthday dinner. I didn't get an invite. And we were the type of friends, we didn't have to talk every day. Like, we could not talk all week and then hook up on the weekends like nothing happened. I hadn't talked to her all week. I told her happy birthday and all that stuff, but I hadn't talked to her otherwise. And when I asked her why she didn't invite me, she was like, well, I thought that Brittany and Sydney would have told you about the dinner, because I told them a couple days ago or like yesterday or something. And I was like, no, they didn't tell me. And I believe that Unicorn thought that I was still hanging out with Sydney and Brittany like I used to, and I wasn't. That wasn't the case at all. I was really barely speaking to them at this point. And mind you, this was right like at that time, like right before everyone just stopped completely talking to Sydney, and kind of Brittany too, but Brittany kind of came to her senses and came on back to the group. But this was right around that time where right before they completely ostracized themselves. So we were all still hanging out occasionally. Unicorn had no idea, and she felt really bad, and she was like apologizing. She was like, well, you can still go. I didn't mean for you to not be invited. I assumed that they would tell you. And I was like, oh girl, what time are y'all going? And she was like, it was like 5 o'clock, and she was like, we're going to dinner at 6. I said, oh well, I think I'll just pass. I was like, I'll help you celebrate your birthday some other kind of way, but I'm definitely not gonna be ready in 45 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever, so y'all can just go without me. It's no problem. Like, I'm not offended. I understand it was a miscommunication. Like, I'm not mad. It's not a big deal. And she was like, are you sure? Like, I don't want you to feel left out. I was like, no girl, it's fine. So like I said, she assumed that Brittany and Sydney told me, and I guess Sydney and Brittany assumed that I already knew, or that Unicorn had already told me. But like I said, I had no idea. So when I tell Sydney, I'm like, no, I'm not going. I didn't know about it, and it's real last minute. I don't have time to get ready. She caught an attitude with me because I didn't want to go, because like I couldn't go. She was like, well, if you want to go, it's not a problem, and blah blah blah. I'm like, girl, why do you have an attitude over a party that is not even yours? It's not even your birthday party. I don't understand what the issue is and why you have an attitude. Now I'm just like, girl, I'm not going. Like, that's the end of the discussion. So fast forward to whenever they were leaving or about to leave, she calls me and she's like, can I get my thread out of your room when I get back? I have to do someone sewing. I'm like, yeah, no problem. I don't, like, girl, whatever, you can come get your thread. So when she said that, I thought that they were just going to dinner. You know, I didn't think that they were gonna be out real late. I thought they were just going to dinner. And I don't know why her thread was in my room. In hindsight, either she had to leave it in there or something, because I had my own spool of thread already. So I don't know why her weave thread was in my room. But that was kind of irrelevant. But anyway. So the night rolls on, and they went, like I said, they went to dinner at like 6 or 7-ish. And I waited. Well, I didn't wait. I was just hanging out in my room until like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And I thought that they would be, I guess I thought, you know, maybe she didn't need the thread no more or whatever. So I went over to my boyfriend's room, and my boyfriend stayed across campus. So I went to his room, and we were asleep, knocked out by like 12 o'clock, and I still had not heard from Sydney. And my phone was sitting on his dresser, and it was on 1%. That's why I didn't even bother to like get up and answer the phone. But I saw my phone ringing, but child, I was already half asleep, and I was not about to get up, walk across the room, and go answer a phone that was gonna die anyway as soon as I answered it. Like I said, my phone was on 1%. His phone was on his charger, and I left my charger in my room, so it was just not gonna get answered. It was gonna die anyway. And so I don't even know what time that was, but around 2:30, when I tell you me and him are knocked, like we are slumped, knocked out, like around 2:30 in the morning, his phone rings. So I'm like, who is calling you at 2:30 in the morning? So he reaches over and answers his phone, and it's Sydney. And he's looking crazy, like, why is she calling me? And so he answers it, and she's like, let me talk to Jaya. Is Jaya with you? Let me talk to Jaya. Red flag number one, I already had an attitude. First of all, you woke me up. We ain't even gonna get into that yet. Sydney was on his phone. He handed me the phone. He was like, it's for you. And I'm already looking crazy because I seen who it was calling him, and I could hear her when he picked up the phone. She had a nasty attitude, and I was like, look, it's 2:30 in the morning. I'm tired. I don't have time for this. Like, what does she want? So when, like I said, when she hadn't called by like 12, I assumed that she just didn't need the thread anymore, and it was too late for her to do the sewing. I assumed that it was too late for her to do the sewing and or whatever. She was gonna wait till in the morning. But no, like I said, 2:30 in the morning, she's calling him. He hands me the phone. I already could hear she has an attitude because she's like, is Jay with you? Where is she? So I get on the phone, and she's like, I need my thread out of your room. And I'm like, well, you're gonna have to wait till in the morning because I'm all the way in building such and such, and I'm all the way across campus, and it's damn near 3 in the morning. I'm not walking across campus to give you no motherfucking thread. So she just repeated herself. She was like, well, I have to do somebody's hair, and I need my thread, and this, and that. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you, because I'm not getting up out of the bed to bring you no damn thread. When you asked me for the thread, you should have came and got it before you left, because like, I'm not getting up to bring you no thread at 3 in the morning. Sorry. If I was still in our building, then I would have been like, okay, I'll bring it to you. I'll just go up a flight of stairs and bring it to you. I had to walk all the way across campus. My boyfriend's dorm was all the way on the other opposite end of the dorm area from mine. So that was a walk, especially at 3 in the morning. And I wasn't gonna ask him to get up out of bed to walk me across campus and just to walk back to his room. Like, I just wasn't gonna do that. He's looking crazy. And I'm just like, no, I'm not coming over there. And so she sits on the phone for a minute, and my boyfriend's still looking kind of crazy, and she's sitting in silence on the phone, and I'm just sitting here half asleep, like still half asleep. And she's telling me, well, I need my thread. I said, well, you're gonna have to wait till in the morning because I'm not coming across campus to bring you no thread. So she sits on the phone for a minute, and she's like,
Okay, bet.
and hangs up the phone in my face yet again. Now, at this point, I'm not even tripping about it because I'm gonna bring her thread in the morning. Like, what can she do about the thread right now? Nothing. So I hand him his phone. He puts it back on the charger. He's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I don't know. And we just went back to sleep. So in the morning, he was like, what did she call you for, some thread? I'm like, yeah, like a spool of fucking thread. He's like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, right? Right? So anyway, I get up in the morning, I go walk back to my dorm, and I open my room door. First of all, there's a lock on the door to get into our apartment style dorm. Then there's a lock on my door, and my door was definitely locked. I come back in my room, her thread and my thread were sitting right next to each other on my dresser. I could see it when I walked in, and while I was, walking in my room, just casual like, I look up and I don't see the thread. And I text her while I was walking over to my building, and I'm like, if you want your thread, I'll bring it to you now. Where are you? She didn't text me back. So, like I said, when I walked in, the thread was already fucking gone. So I'm like, how? I still don't know how she got in my room and got it. I would like to know, because that was just too far. Like, sometimes I would let her, like, tell her to just go in my room and get stuff. because, you know, that was my friend. I would just let her go in my room and get stuff. But I always knew when she went in my room when I wasn't there. And this time, she took it upon herself. She didn't even have the decency to tell me after the fact. She didn't tell me while she was doing it. She didn't tell me after the fact. She still hasn't said, I went in your room and got your thread. But I know that's what she did, because when I text her about the thread, she never responded. No, she did respond. She texted me back later and she was like, I already got it. And I was like, what the fuck? How did you get in my room? Don't go in my room. And that was when I was like, no, this girl's cut all the way off. Because first of all, ain't no reason for you to be calling my nigga. I don't care what time of day it is. Like, don't call him. No, sweetheart, do not call him. And then she called him at 2:30 in the morning, and I don't care if I was with him or not, or who you was looking for. Don't call my man at 2:30 in the morning. Like, that's unacceptable. Sorry. How would you like it if I was calling your man at 2:30 in the morning? Like, don't do that. Like, what's wrong with you? Don't be calling nobody's man at 2:30 in the morning. You got your rabbit ass mind. And secondly, she basically broke into my room for a spool of fucking thread. So yeah, that was the end of our friendship. We did not really speak after that. I would see her, she would not speak, and then all of a sudden, like a couple months later, I would see her and she just like, hey, I'm like, girl, and I would be like, hey, like, we don't have shit to talk about. Child, I'm half naked, Lord. And I remember the very last time that we had a real conversation was I had taken out, I just bought a new wig. That's what it was. I had just bought a new wig, and I hadn't quite figured out how to cornrow my own hair down, like just straight back. I could do two, like the crown braid around the outside, but I could not figure out how to cornrow. I know I do it now, but then I did not. And I knew that she knew how to braid hair, and I was gonna pay her and everything to like do it. I was like, so I text her, because I didn't know anybody else that knew how to braid cornrows, just go straight back, you know. So I text her and I was like, hey, can you please braid my hair for me? Like, I'll pay you something, and I'm not asking you to do it for free. I was like, can you just please braid my hair later on today? And she was like, yeah, I got you. I said, no, I'm serious. No, don't flake out on me, because I'm about to wash and blow dry my hair, and I can't do nothing else with my hair if you don't braid it. Y'all, did y'all know I text this girl like 3 more times to remind her throughout the day that she, like, to not forget to braid my hair. She was like, no, I got you, okay, all right, I got you, I'm not gonna forget. Do y'all know I didn't hear from this bitch for the rest of the day? And the last time I texted her, I was like, girl, I'm out here looking like Miss Seeley, like, are you, like, please don't forget to braid my hair, because I'm looking crazy, like I can't leave my dorm because I'm looking crazy. Y'all know this bitch didn't text me back at all. I didn't hear from her. She didn't say nothing, ever, not just that day, ever. She didn't say anything else about it. So I ended up having to get one of my friends to try to braid my hair, and she did an alright job, but I ended up just going back to my perimeter braids, my cornrow, well, not my cornrows, my crown braids, because they were kind of loose and messy. And after that, there was no real conversation had. She would still speak to me occasionally, and it was what it was, but like, as far as like, it was over for me. There was no turning back. Like, the friendship was dead. So just take this as a lesson. That's pretty much the end of the story. I don't think anything else happened, not that I can think of right now. I hope you took something from this. Like, girl, your sis is not your sis. Like, watch who you call your friends, watch who you keep around you, watch who you tell your business to, watch who you share things with, because females are trifling. At the end of the day, these are people that you're just meeting. You might feel like they're like you've known them forever, like y'all are besties, but girl, you don't know these people. You just met these people. You met them like a month or 2 ago, and like I said in one of my other videos, the friendships that you form especially at the beginning of freshman year are really friendships out of convenience, and they aren't friendships with real substance. And I quickly learned that with dealing with her. We had nothing in common at all, and I was kind of trying to hold on to a toxic friendship because I felt like friends were scarce, and that was the only friend that I had. And in actuality, she was a toxic, very toxic person for me and for my life and for my prosperity. And she was just, y'all, she was just there was no need for me to be trying to hold on to something like that. I should have let it go a long time ago, and I was still trying to harbor it. So I can't fully blame her or blame her for the things that happened, because I should have cut her off long before, you know, we actually stopped communicating, but I didn't. And I definitely learned my lesson. There's no excuse. Like, cut toxic people out of your life. There's no other way to put it. Like, you don't need that in your life. People are temporary. There will always be new people in and out of your life. It's okay to let one go. Like, you have to, that's something that I had to learn. It's like, I don't have to harbor toxic friendships just because I feel like I don't have any other friends that I can depend on. You know, I have myself, I have God, I have family, I can go to a damn counselor or therapist if I needed to talk to somebody. I don't need to harbor these negative people and negative influences in my life. And when I realized that, y'all, I was a brand new bitch. Like, I began to flourish. And I didn't just cut her out of my life, I cut several people out of my life around the same time. And when I tell you I began to flourish, things started to happen for me that I didn't think would happen. And I really think it was just God trying to tell me, God was trying to close the door and I was trying to, you know, snatch it back open. And when I just let God slam that door, it's like many more doors just start to open for me. So yeah, just flourish, do your thing, cut negative people out of your life. And yeah, I hope you learned something from my story, my experience. And I know it kind of seemed like I was just rambling, but I do hope that you learned something from what I shared, and I hope that you can share this video with someone else and maybe it'll help someone else out. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And I hope that y'all tune into the next video, and I hope that y'all liked it, and see you in my next one.